In the last lecture, we learned what was the row reduced echelon form of a matrix. Now, question is that how do I get to the row reduced echelon form of the matrix? All right, how do I? What is there an algorithm which will give me that? All right, so let's look at the algorithm. This algorithm is called the Gauss-Jordan method. All right, so we want to look at what is the Gauss-Jordan method. All right, so important thing. This is related to the RREF, row reduced echelon form, which is the generalization in some sense of the row echelon form. And for the row echelon form, if you remember, we use what is called the Gauss elimination method. Or in the short, whatever it is, GEM you want to write or whatever you want to write. And this will generally write it as GJM or GJE. All right, whatever it is you want to write, just write whatever you want. Fine. So let's understand what we are trying to get. Fine. So algorithm for us. All right. So the input is a matrix A, which is in M cross N of C. Fine. And the output will be the matrix. Input is this, output B in RREF with A and B row equivalent. All right. So this is the idea that I have. The input is A, the output will be a matrix B, which is again of size M cross N, and it will have entries from the complex number itself, entries from complex numbers. Fine. But the important thing is that B is in RREF and A and B are row equivalent. All right. So this is input, this is output. Fine. So what are the steps? Step 1, I'm just writing it out. Put reason as A itself. All right. The whole matrix at the first step, the whole matrix is your reason. All right. The thing that I need to look at. Fine. Step 2. Fine. If all entries in the reason are 0, every entry is in reason 0, stop, and just say that this is the answer you have. All right, stop. Algorithm stops because every entry is 0, so it is already in RREF. Fine. Else in the reason itself, do not look at anywhere else. The reason is very, very important. In the reason, find the leftmost non-zero column. So I'm looking at the non-zero column here, not the non-zero row. Non-zero column, and find its topmost non-zero entry. Find its topmost non-zero entry. All right, fine. That I'm supposed to put it at the back. Fine. Suppose this non-zero entry is Aij, which is equal to C say. Fine. Box it so that it's become a pivot. Box it to indicate it as a pivot. Okay. So I've got a pivot. Fine. Step 3. Interchange this row. Interchange this row with the first row of the reason. You have to look at always the reason, not the whole matrix, always the reason. All right. Interchange this row with the first row of the reason. Now you also have to look at, so this becomes, this column is your pivotal column. This column, there is the jth column, this column is your pivotal column. Fine. Now, if you remember, the each pivot is supposed to be 1. So you need to multiply by 1 upon C. All right. Now, multiply by an elementary matrix on the left to make the pivot as 1. Fine. Once you have done that, then you can use this one to make every other entry in that column to be 0. All right. Use this pivot to make all other entries in that column as 0. So this is your step 3, that so I have got a pivot, I put it at the top of the reason. Once there is there, I divide by C to get it as 1. Once I have 1, everything else can be made 0 and everything above can be made 0, but we are looking at only the reason here for the time being. All right, fine, we'll do that afterwards. But here, if you want to make, you can make every other entry also 0. You don't have to worry about the reason. So therefore, I've written it here. Use this pivot to make all other entries in that column. I'm not using the reason here. So the word reason is not being used. The word reason is not being used. So we need to make all other entries in that column for the whole matrix, or for the whole matrix. So this is what you have to be careful about as per the algorithm is concerned, but you can do it afterwards also, that's not important, but you have to do it. All right, what is step 4? Because you need to know how to proceed further. Step 4, put reason is equal to the submatrix below and to the right of the current pivot. So you have to move to the right and below. The submatrix below and to the right of the current pivot is your reason now. All right. Now go to step 2. All right. So we need to do this, and therefore this will finally it will end because there are only m rows or n columns. So therefore at most there will be n pivots or at most m pivots, and we can stop it. Fine. This is important that it will end in m minimum of m comma n steps. Fine. Let's look at an example to understand it better. Example, what I'm trying to do. So example, let's take the matrix A as 0, 2, 3, 7, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 4, 8. I did not take the square matrix, but I've taken it as a square matrix here. All right. Fine, but I did not take the square matrix. It could be any matrix because the algorithm is for m cross n. Fine. So let's be careful and do the work so that there is understanding of things. Fine. So this is A. So now if I look at this A, fine, it is a non-zero matrix, and therefore I have to look at the first non-zero column, the non-zero column. So this is a non-zero column. In this non-zero column, The topmost non-zero entry is this. So I have to interchange it. So interchange, I have to interchange the first and second. So I have this matrix E12 that I need to apply to A to get it as 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 2, 3, 7, 1, 3, 4, 8, 0, 0, 0, 1. All right. Fine. This is already 1 and this is already a pivot for me. Is that okay? Fine. Now I have to use this one to make this one 0 here. All right. Fine. So this matrix is E12 of A. I need to make this 0. So third row has to be replaced. So I need to look at replace the third row using the first row, and I have to just look at -1 here, so that 1 minus 1 will be 0 here. But I have to apply it to this matrix. I have to apply it to E12 of A, and then I will get it as the first row will remain as it is, second row will remain as it is. Fine. The third row will become 0, 3 minus 1 is 2, 4 minus 1 is 3, 8 minus 1 is 7, and this will also remain the same. Fine, this is what I will get. Is that okay? Fine. Now I can take either of. So what now happens is that if I look at this part, then everything is 0 in this column. So this was my pivot, and every other entry in this column is 0. All right. So now my step 3 is over. I have to go to the next step. So I have to now look at this part, remove this, remove this. So this is my reason. So reason is 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 7, 0, 0, 1. This is my reason that I have. Fine. So in this, if I look at, this is the non-zero column. The first non-zero entry is this. I am supposed to make it 1. So let's make it 1 now. So to make this 1, I have to look at the whole thing here. So I'm looking at the second row, and second row needs to be multiplied by half. So I need to multiply the second row by half, and I need to apply this thing here. So I've got E31 of -1, E12 of A here. So I'll get here, the second row is being multiplied by half. The first row will remain as it is, 0, 1, 3 by 2, 7 by 2, fine, 0, 2, 3, 7, 0, 0, 0, 1. This is what I will get. Fine. Is that okay? So I've got this again. So if I look at now here, I have this as my pivot, this as my pivot. Fine. Now what I can do, I can make this 0 using this row. The third row can be made using this. So I can look at the third row needs to be replaced using the second row, and I have to multiply by 2 and subtract. So multiply by 2 and subtract is minus, and this whole thing will come here. So it will be E2 of half, E31 of -1, E12 of A. This will give me 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 3 by 2, 7 by 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Fine. Is that okay? Now this is 0 rows. So this should be at the end. So I need to interchange the third and fourth column here. Sorry, third and fourth row. So E34 I have to do, and again get the whole thing here. So E32 of -2, E2 of half, E31 of -1, E12 of A. This will give me 1, 1, 1, 1. So I'm not exactly following the algorithm. I'm just doing something to save some time. You can say 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right. So now I see that I have pivots. So what are the pivots that I have here? This is a pivot, this is a pivot, this is a pivot. Fine. So I have to use this to make this one 0. All right. So I have to use this to make this entry 0. Fine. I have to use this to make these two entries also 0. So just think of it. How do you go about it? Fine. So what I can do is that first I can use this to make these two entries 0 as such, and then these two. So there are ways of doing it. Fine. So let me do that first. So let me use this to make these two, because this will become independent here, 0 and 0. So I can do two things here. I can look at E23 second row, all right, and multiply by -7 by 2, so that I can get this 0 here. I can also look at E13 of -1. I can multiply by these two, and this whole thing will come here, which is E3 4, E3 2 of minus 2, E2 of half, E3 1 of minus 1, E1 2 of A. This whole matrix will give me 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 1 3 by 2 0 1 1 1 0. This is what I get. Fine. So now you can make this again. So you can do this. So you can now, in place of this, I will have this matrix. So second row, so the first row has to be multiplied by second, replaced by this, so that this entry becomes 0. You need to make 0. Fine. So first row minus the second row. All right, fine. So I have to apply this to whole of this thing here. So this is my E1 3 of minus 1, E2 3 of minus 7 by 2, E3 4. So if you see, I have not exactly done what is there in the algorithm, but I have done a similar thing. All right. So the question will arise, will I get the same answer if I follow the algorithm, or will there be a change? All right, fine. So it turns out that this RREF of a matrix is unique. So whatever you do, all of us will get the same answer. So I would like you to know this part. We'll not prove it, we'll just have it. So you can see that this matrix is in RREF. So this pivot, everything is here, everything is here, everything is here. Look at this, these are the 3 pivots. And if I forget about this row, forget. Then I have got the matrix 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 appearing here in the pivotal columns. Fine, which corresponds to I3. There are 3 pivots, so I3 is sitting inside it. All right. So that's very important. I would like you to understand it. Fine, that you have I3, and there's a sequence of moves, as I said, that you get it. So since these are all elementary matrix, so therefore this matrix that I've got, the final matrix, is row equivalent to the matrix A. All right. So this whole matrix, this matrix A is row equivalent to 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 minus half 3 by 2 0 0 0 1 0. All right. Not only that, each of these matrices that you had at intermediate stages, all of them are row equivalent to each other. That's very important. All right. So we have this theorem. It's a very important theorem. Let A be an M cross N matrix over complex numbers, and let R is equal to RREF of A. Fine. Then 1, there exists elementary matrices E1, E2, EK, such that, let me follow the same notation, R is E1, E2, EK times A. So here in this example we had, so look at this notation, E1 is the last one. Fine. So this is your R, and this is E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7, E8. We had 8 of them. So K is 8. All right, fine. So I have this 2. Let P is equal to E1, E2, EK. Then P is invertible. Why P is invertible? Because elementary matrices are invertible, and product of invertible matrices again invertible. AB inverse is B inverse A inverse. All right, fine. Then P is invertible. So what I've got is that R is equal to P times A. This also implies and is implied by A is equal to P inverse of R. Fine. So as you saw earlier also, which is same thing as saying that I'm going to write this inverse of this. So it will be EK inverse, EK minus 1 inverse, E2 inverse, E1 inverse of R is A. Fine. So this idea I'll be using it, that I'll be saying that there is an invertible matrix P. So what we'll be saying is that if R is equal to RREF of A, then there exists invertible matrix P such that R is equal to P times A. I'll be using it again and again in many lectures. All right, so keep track of this part. All right. Third, since I have got R as P times A, or in this particular case, this is the way here. In general, I need to prove that every invertible matrix is product of elementary matrices. But what we are saying is that when I apply, when I'm saying that I'm looking at RREF, or I'm saying that A and B are row equivalent, then I'm saying that I've got elementary matrices which takes one matrix to the other matrix. Fine. So I have those matrices and they are invertible. So there is such a P. Now from where I get this P? Because of elementary matrices, things like that, right? So since I have got this here, this part R is this, fine. The matrices A and R are row equivalent. Why are they row equivalent? So the definition of row equivalent was that two matrices are row equivalent if I can obtain one from the other by a sequence of elementary matrix, elementary operations, or product multiplying on the left by elementary matrices. This is what I am doing here. These are the elementary matrices E1, E2, EK. Fine. And the fourth part is again the same thing in a different language. If A and B are row equivalent, then there exists an invertible matrix P such that B is equal to P. Fine, this is one way of understanding it. The other way to understand is that from A, I can go to RREF of A. Fine, suppose this is R sub A, then I know that R of A I can obtain through some elementary matrices E1 to EK, fine, of A. I know that A is row equivalent to B. So if I look at B, B will be some elementary matrices F1, F2, FL times B. I'll get this way, fine. Is that okay? So I got this part, fine. This is one way to understand. Or I can also go from here to here and then come back. Whatever way you want to understand, you understand it. All right, this is very, very important idea that you need to understand. Fine. So here I'm looking at RREF. RREF is also that saying that A and R are row equivalent. Fine. So just understand it. The last theorem for today is the following. So we are doing it to solve a system of equation. Consider the linear system AX is equal to B. Then I have the augmented matrix. Matrix AB with me. Fine. This is the augmented matrix I have. Fine. So if this matrix is row equivalent to CD, then the two systems AX is equal to B and CX is equal to D and the same solution set. Why do they have the same solution set? Because from one I can go to the other by multiplying by invertible matrix. All right. Therefore, the solution does not change. All right. This is very, very important. So as a special case for homogeneous system, thus if A and B are row equivalent matrices, then the systems AX is equal to 0, the homogeneous system, and Bx is equal to 0 have the same solutions. So this is a special case because A and B are row equivalent. So I can get B here and things like that and then proceed. Is that okay? So keep track of this. And what we are saying here is that the number of pivots, when I apply the Gauss elimination method, I get enough pivots. So the number of pivots do not change when I look at RREF or the Gauss-Jordan method. The only special case extra that we get using the Gauss-Jordan method is that all the pivots become 1 and every other entry in that pivot is 0. And that leads to what is called identity matrix appearing somewhere inside that. Fine. That we could not have guaranteed in the Gauss elimination method because we are not making the pivots as 1 and we are not making every other entry in that column to be 0. Fine. So keep track of that. It's very, very important. And we are getting one from the other by this multiplying by elementary matrices. Elementary matrices are invertible. Product of invertible matrices is invertible. So getting from one to the other row equivalent means I'm just multiplying by an invertible matrix. All right. I still need to prove that every invertible matrix is product of elementary matrices. So that is separate. But I always know that there is a collection of elementary matrices which gives me invertible matrix. Fine. Whenever the two matrices are row equivalent. All right. So keep track of this. We'll try to understand them better after some lectures. All right. Thank you.